Welcome to Plot Thick. My name is Naive. In this episode, I am explaining the ending of All the Old Knives. Let's jump right in. This sexy spy thriller stars Chris Pine, Thandiwe Newton, Laurence Fishburne, and Jonathan Pryce. Before dying, a terrorist leader implicates a mole within the CIA that helped him carry out the 2012 plane hijacking that killed all the souls on board. This is a smart, sexy spy thriller full of masterful intrigue, an engaging score, and picturesque cinematography with a backdrop of the idyllic restaurant Carmel by the Sea in Monterey, California. So spy thrillers are talkies, we know. This film is no exception, offering witty dialogue in which every conversation is layered with evidence that weave the investigation into a stunning conclusion. The story unfolds with flashbacks and flash forwards and current day that interconnect the suspects based on their activities while the hijacking was taking place. To explain the ending, it's imperative to set up the first act. The first act is fraught with purposeful keys and set pieces to help solve the mystery. The setup. So the film opens with a black screen with news reporters describing in ominous detail this terrorist takeover of this aircraft, Flight 127. Then we see passengers on this, a flight attendant being shot and dragged down the aisle, a pregnant woman, kids screaming from their seats, pilots as hostages in the cockpit. This is going down, and these terrorists are not interested in negotiating. So Vic's team is watching. Vic is played by Laurence Fishburne, who is the chief of this Vienna satellite station within the CIA. His team is watching footage. Chris Pine plays Henry Pelham, a seasoned field agent climbing the ranks. Thandiwe Newton plays Celia Harris, a whip-smart intelligence officer. Jonathan Pryce plays Bill Compton, a veteran counting the days before he can retire. He's also Celia's mentor, prepping her for his desk. These are all CIA spies on Vic's team working out of this Vienna satellite station. So on hijacking day, Vic notices Henry coming from another area at the office. It looks suspicious. He should be in here with the rest of the team getting briefed. Where's he been? After watching footage, Celia abruptly leaves. Babies were killed on this flight. A pregnant woman was on board. She can't do this anymore. 8 years later, because remember we flash forward, flash back. 8 years later, Vic's sitting on the edge of his bed depressed. Is that day still weighing on his conscience? We'll soon find out. Vic calls a meeting with Henry. He tells Henry that Langley has reopened the Flight 127 hijacking case. Henry's like, oh no, we are done blaming ourselves. We've blamed ourselves long enough. This case doesn't need to be reopened. Vic informs Henry that they caught Ilias, the terrorist leader and mastermind behind this terrorist attack, this hijacking. And he reveals, and Ilias revealed that there was a mole inside this particular station. And Langley is done with the embarrassment and they want to end this once and for all. They want to find the mole. Vic claims that Ilias did not reveal who the mole is. So it's important to note that Henry is determined to be the point investigator on this case. Ilias was his informant for many years. Henry, with a blanketed face, asks Vic if Ilias revealed who the mole was. Vic says no, Ilias died before they could threaten it out of him, before he could confess. Henry claims he can get the truth. Vic tasks Henry with closing this chapter once and for all, finding the mole. And to do that, he must investigate two of the key people of interest. One is Celia Harris, and the other one is Bill Compton. Bill Compton's living in London, and Celia Harris has started a whole new life in California. So Vic asks of Henry, are you willing to do what's necessary? Are you willing to do what needs to be done? And we know what that is. That means kill the mole. Vic says this with a poker face, with all the training he's learned at Langley and over his decades-long career. Flashback 8 years earlier when Celia quit. She just up and quit. Henry runs out the building after her, but she's long gone. She didn't just quit. She eventually leaves town to start a new life without Henry, but why? Back to current day, Vic gives Henry a folder with the incriminating evidence, a call log. A number is highlighted. This is key information. Henry must build a case around this call. Wait, that's Bill Compton's desk phone number. Was Bill Compton involved? Vic says Bill wasn't the only one using that line that day. Does Vic remember that day when Henry was coming out of the direction of Bill's office instead of being in the briefing with the rest of the team? It's been 8 years. He may not remember, or he may. He's the chief of this station. He's climbed these ranks because he's the best. Is Vic playing Henry? It's hard to tell. These CIA spies maintain their poker face and never show their hand. Then we flash to Henry and Celia in bed, and it's confirmed that they are lovers. Vic, back to current day, Vic alludes it may be Celia. Is he trapping Henry? He asks Henry if he's still carrying a torch for Celia. Nope. Henry tells him she's married with kids now. He hasn't spoken to her since she left. But how does he know about her new life? Has he been spying on her? Vic offers to send someone else, but Henry affirms that he's the only one who'll know whether or not she's lying when she's interrogated. Henry wants more than just to see Celia. He wants to rekindle this flame, to see if she still holds the torch for him. Henry says he'll start with Bill first and then go to California to interrogate Celia, then he's off. Henry is driving along the Pacific Coast Highway. He's in California. So it's assumed that he's already met with Bill Compton. Celia gets a call from someone, but we don't know from whom yet. So we see her life. She's at her daughter's ballet class, grocery shopping, running errands, living her life as normal as possible, unbeknownst to anyone in this town that she's a former CIA agent. But when you look closer, there are men planted in different areas following her. But why? Are they her protection? Does she fear for her life? Does she have a burn notice? We learn all of this later. Henry arrives at Carmel by the Sea, which should be booming at this time. It's the middle of the day, but it's questionably empty. So Henry calls his trusted hitman, and he instructs his hitman that he is only to take out Celia, who's the target, when he gives the okay. Henry distinctly says he may not even need this hit. So Henry's at the restaurant first. That's important. Celia purposely arrives to this restaurant late, and Henry knows exactly when she arrives even before he sees her. These spy senses never die. They sit and reminisce, and we flash back to their past life as lovers, climbing the ranks as low-level spies, the whole bit. She even jokes about poisoning him when they're in the thralls of intimacy. And Henry admits why he's there, eventually. Vic has me looking into Flight 127. She wants to hear it from him. So she asks, knowing the answer already. So this is an interview? You're not here rekindling the flame? Henry's already met with suspect Bill Compton. That's confirmed in this scene. He's met with him in London where he's retired. Henry tries to pin this on Bill first. He wanted to avoid having to put a hit out on his ex-lover Celia. Now that setup has been established, we can talk about the ending. Heavy spoilers in this section. So during the course of the day, Henry and Celia reminisce and interrogate each other, recalling that dreadful day 8 years ago. As night wears on, Celia reveals why she abruptly left. She saw a call come in on Henry's cell phone that matched the one on that call log, Ilias's number. Now here's the thing. Ilias's number should come on Henry's phone, but it should have never come from Bill Compton's desk. That's what she's suspicious about. She calls him out also for trying to pin all of this on her mentor, Bill. She reveals that this is a trap for him, that he isn't there to kill her, but she's there to kill him. He's the mole. Henry's the mole. So everyone in this restaurant, the people who were planted while she was running her errands, are now in this restaurant playing as wait staff, and a couple in this restaurant as patrons, and it's scattered with CIA operatives. Henry starts to feel the poison coursing through his organs. He'll keel over at any second, but first he must confess. He did this to protect Celia. That terrorist leader, Ilias, was threatening to kill Celia if Henry didn't cooperate. Henry was willing to pin this leak on old Bill to avoid killing Celia. He still loves her after all these years, and he reveals this to Celia, but it's too late. And he sacrificed all those souls on board Flight 127 to protect Celia, to save her life. Now Celia feels a bit of remorse, but it's too late. Chief Vic, he knew. He and his team are raiding Henry's house as we speak right now, confiscating boxes and collecting evidence. Vic planned out this entire day, this entire couple of weeks, while Henry's away on this goose chase. It was a setup. Celia admits that Ilias did dine him out as he was dying when he got captured. He said that the mole was Henry. So Vic lied to him. Vic just needed him out of town. Henry got played. Celia says, we're going to say this is a suicide as Henry starts keeling over. Henry explains why he did it. They had you in their crosshairs, Celia. I was saving you. Henry's cell phone is on the table. Hitman's calling. He needs a yes or no on the hit. He's got the shot. Henry's head slams on the table. He tries to utter words to his hitman. Is he trying to say yes or no? Is this the okay? He's gasping at his last breaths before he dies. Celia's tormented as she leaves the restaurant, passing all these CIA operatives who's finished the job. She's crying out the door as she walks home. The hitman says he's got a clean shot. All he needs is the okay. The hitman doesn't know that Vic has died. So Celia walks home. She hugs her kids. She's so grateful that her husband waited up for her to get home. She knows she's safe. She's surrounded by the best CIA operatives. It's over. Vic's job is done. Celia's job is done. The mole is dead. The team can put all of this behind them. The end. Well, thank you so much. If you stuck around this long, I certainly appreciate you. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, peace. Thank you.